Hi everyone and welcome to another Kicking Up with Sensei. And today is day one of our Female Warrior Week, and we've got Taekwondo legend Nora Csiszar. You're very welcome, Nora.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, everyone. Taekwondo legend is a bit much, but thanks.
We've seen the videos now. But could you tell the audience a little about your martial arts background?
Yeah, so I do Taekwondo. I'm a third Dan black belt in ITF Taekwondo. So that's more like the traditional Taekwondo.
Yeah.
It's not like the W Taekwondo, which is the Olympic style. So I'm more of a traditional martial artist.
Traditional martial arts, yeah. And what first got you interested in martial arts, and particularly Taekwondo?
Well, it's a very good question because I was always interested in martial arts. So I have a clear memory of watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, on the TV. And I was like, okay, I wanted to do that. I didn't know what that was because I was little, like 4 or 5 years old. I didn't know what that was, but I was imitating the moves, what they were doing.
Yeah.
And luckily my parents noticed it, that I liked this. So when I was a little older, I think 7 years old, and I was in elementary school, they enrolled me into karate classes.
Yeah.
But we had to move and so on and so on. So in my second or third school, they had Taekwondo. And my teacher, I think she was my physics teacher, actually, she was the one who told me that, oh, you have this weird something here in the afternoons. They do something like karate, but they didn't know what was that, because in Hungary it's mostly karate and judo that everybody sort of knows.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see the Taekwondo class. So I went in and it was an adults class, and I was like 12 or something. And I told the master that I'd been doing karate, but we moved here, so can I do something like this? And he said, yeah, should join in and see how you're doing. So I joined the adult Taekwondo club in my elementary school when I was 12. So I felt pretty good. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay. It was funny. So that club is still my club. So and my master is the Grandmaster Laszlo Harmat, who is a 9-dan Grandmaster. And he was the one who brought Taekwondo to Hungary in the 70s.
Excellent. Funny you should say that. It was my physics teacher at school that got me first involved in martial arts a long time ago, but that's when I was 11, so a couple of decades ago now. But what do you think the benefits of martial training are?
Many. Where do I start? I think it has physical and mental and spiritual benefits. Physical, obviously, you get into a good physical shape. But I think that also carries on to other parts of your life. So how you carry yourself, your confidence level. So I noticed that a lot of my friends who are martial artists, they are also carry themselves differently than people who don't do martial arts, like some of my friends, because they have this inner confidence that they can take care of themselves and do stuff. So I think it adds a lot to your confidence level, to your maturity a little bit, because you have to pay attention, like you have to, there's an order there. So you're a little bit more mature, a little bit more organized. I think it's also one more thing that I find it interesting. You don't have unnecessary moves. So it's you once you're at the level, you can control your body a little bit better. So when you're doing stuff, you don't have, I don't know, for example, when you're walking on the street, you don't walk with your hands.
Yeah, more efficient.
Right, a little bit more efficient. Yeah. And a little bit more organized, I think, in the everyday life.
Yeah. And what do you think the mindset of a Taekwondo practitioner is?
The main what, sorry?
The mindset.
The mindset?
Yeah.
Well, I think there is a certain type of mindset that we are learning in Taekwondo. So we have the Taekwondo oath, for example, and there are certain disciplines that I think Taekwondo practitioners have to adjust, because once you go into the dojang, so dojang is the dojo, but it's Korean in Taekwondo, you just sort of get into the mindset immediately. So I noticed it on myself that when I go to training, well, before COVID and all that, but when I go to training, you know, I had all this like, oh, I have this to do and that to do and so on and so on. But once I enter and once I bow and get into the Taekwondo mindset, all of my other worries are just sort of gone. Like they are like non-existent for that 2 hours or something. And then, you know, when I leave, I can get back to that. So I think it's very good if you want to leave your worries behind and you just want to be in the moment. So it's like sort of a mindfulness practice as well.
Yeah, perfect. Now, do you think you got the same opportunities in Taekwondo as your male counterparts?
I never had anything with that. I know that some people might do, but I have never experienced that. The only thing that you know, for example, our master is always like, we have to work twice as hard. So when we are paired up with guys, so girls are paired up with guys, we have to do extra hard and they have to just take it. So, so we have to do twice as hard just to make sure that, you know, we are getting better and we are using our full body, power, speed, everything. So I don't think anything sort of bad in that regard. I don't think gender is an issue in martial arts in general, but everybody has a different experience. For me, I think there was never an issue with that.
Yeah, I'll probably get in trouble for saying it, but as a sensei, I've always found that females were better technically than the males were. They understood the technicalities of techniques and forms better. Maybe it's just the way their mind works. I suppose it's a difference. Yeah, but what else was it? What do you feel you got in life from martial arts practice?
What did I get? Like in general, or what do you mean?
In general, just do you feel like the things that you got from martial art have helped you in your life outside the dojang?
That's a very, very good question. Well, I think in general, what I mentioned before, that, you know, we have the Taekwondo oath, and that consists of 5 sentences. It's, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructors and seniors. I will never misuse Taekwondo. And the last 2 that is very strongly resonate with me, which is, I will be a champion of freedom and justice, and I shall build a more peaceful world. So I think as a martial artist, it's our responsibility to use our skills and what we learn and just try to use it for the good. So let it be training others, obviously, because you got the knowledge from somewhere, you have to give it away. You don't just keep it for yourself, obviously, right? You have to give it away. And that's how you learn as well, because if somebody's asking you something. But with building a peaceful world, I think many people think that, oh, martial arts is very, you know, I don't know, it's very bloody and it's so bad, and that you're aggressive. And I have to say that most martial artists that I have met with are the nicest, most peaceful, humble people, you know. And I think they also recognize that the true essence of martial arts is not to get into a fight, not to fight, not to prove yourself or anything. It's just to try to use all that and know what you can do and try to transform that into your everyday life. I was trying to think what like real life examples can I give, but basically just, if you can, for example, hold the door, if, for example, a bus or a tram is closing, if you can hold the door for someone, just to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more patient with other people. I think that's got to do with something with practicing martial arts for a long time, and just know that you can control yourself, what you do, your moves, your thoughts.
Yeah.
You can't control others.
Yeah.
But what you are incapable of controlling, let's just lead by example.
Yeah, excellent. And do you have a favorite part of training? Do you prefer sparring, or do you prefer forms, breaking? What would be your favorite
I
thing?
like everything. It's really
All
fun
rounder.
because that's what I like about it, that it's constantly changing. So
Yeah.
when there's sparring, that's good because you have a partner and you can practice. It depends on your partner. If you have a good partner, it's
Yeah.
sort of like a dance, you know, you can do stuff, and that's very interesting to me, how, you know, the reaction between two different people. With the patterns, it's just you, so it's more like a meditation. I always do it
Yeah.
like it's more like you have to pay attention and you have to know what you're doing, what are you gonna do, you have to time it. So it's more like an inner practice as well. With the
Right.
board breaking, there's just, I think it's got to do something about your confidence, that you know
Yeah.
that you can break the boards, you know, you can kick through, you can punch through. So I like all aspects. The thing I did not like in the beginning was, you know, the basics, learning the
Yeah.
basic moves, you know, how to block, how to, you know, make sure how do you do the punch, because I was just, you know, little running around. I just wanted to fight all the time.
Yeah.
And then later on, when you actually know how to fight and how to control your body, I think then later on you start liking the basics and trying to make them better and better. That's why they're
Yeah.
called the basics.
Yeah. We had very much the same now. It was ours would be very judo based, so there was a lot of learning how to fall. And
Right.
it was just very repetitive break falling, and it was very boring for a long time. But now we see the benefit of it when we're getting to the higher levels, and so it all pays off. But what advice would you give any young ladies starting off now in their martial arts journey?
What advice would I give? I think the best advice with people asking me about this is just to start. Like just to start and try to find something that you like. So it's not easy because I know there's so many different martial arts now available, and many people don't know the difference. So in my videos, I try to explain that I do ITF Taekwondo. What you see is this is it. But you know, if you know that you don't like standing up, punching and kicking, maybe you're better with grabbing and just getting people on the floor and all that. Like maybe you like that better. Then that person should find something similar. Try to find judo or jiu-jitsu. So I think the first step is to try to figure out what style is good for you, for your own personality. So for example, I would like to learn a little bit of judo, but I know that's not my main style because it's a little bit too much touching and feeling and you know, it's a little bit too much for me, but I like it. So I would like to learn and the moves, but I know that that's just a secondary thing that I would be interested in. So first, try to find what you're interested at. Second, try to find a good school that's nearby you. So don't travel like 3 hours because it's not gonna pay off, because then you don't want to go there and whatever. So try to find something that's close to you. Check out the school, make sure that the master there is a good master. So I was very lucky. Like the fact that my master is the grandmaster in whole of Hungary, like, you know, when I was little, I didn't know that. I just knew, like, sort of intuitively, like, this is a good place to be. But if you're a parent and taking your kid to a martial arts school, try to check what the qualifications are of the master. See how, you know, how long is it. That's very important, because don't go into a Mac dojo or something like that.
Mac dojo.
That's, you know, getting a black belt at age 10 is, I don't think that's something we should be doing. And third thing is just go there and start.
Yeah.
Because people get intimidated. Like they go and they're like, oh, I have to build up my fitness level. I'm gonna train first and then, you know, no, just go and start. It's the most difficult thing is to start, but just go ahead and start.
Yeah, waiting to get fit before you start training is like waiting to get smart before starting school. But
right.
Who do you consider a good female role model to young kids starting martial arts now?
Good female role models. Well, growing up, I think I did not consider, how do I put this? I did not look at female or male martial artists like, oh, that person, because it's a male, that cannot be my idol. So for example, I still love Bruce Lee. You know, when I was little, I wanted to be Bruce Lee. Didn't occur to me that he was a male or that I just wanted to like be that. And you know, later on when you get all these like unnecessary things. So I think for female, especially female martial artists, there are many great ones. Who I really like is the stunt women who are doing all the Hollywood movies. You know, the actresses are doing the moves, but the real moves are done by the stunt women. Yeah. So like Chloe Bruce, I think she's awesome. And what's her name? Moneymaker, I forgot. There's two sisters, and their surname is Moneymaker. It's very funny. And for actresses who also do martial arts, I really like Gong Li, for example. So she's also Chinese. And Michelle Yeoh, I think she's great. And Zhang Ji. So I really like all these Oriental styles and martial artists. I also like some of the MMA fighters, like Gina Carano, for example. She's doing acting now brilliantly. And Ronda Rousey. So I'm just all for anybody who is, you know, talented and does what they want to. Yeah. Besides whether they be a male or female. So all of them.
It's the hard work that counts.
Yes.
But, and finally, why do you think Taekwondo is your favorite martial art?
Well, as I said, I think it's more like that. I like that it's a traditional martial art. Yeah. So, for example, in Taekwondo, there are 5 tenets that we discussed before, and also these words that they mean a lot. So when we explain the Taekwondo oaths, we also have the 5 tenets, which are courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and the indomitable spirit. And I think, I'm sure you have something similar in all martial arts. I'm pretty sure there is something like that. So what I like about Taekwondo is that I think we include the traditional martial art and always try to modernize it. Yeah. So not to a point where we are losing the martial arts background, because for example, going to the Olympics, that's a whole other thing. So I think it's also important to figure out what you want to do. You want to be a martial artist, or you want to be more like a sports athlete, that you are more, you know, doing only sparring or only doing patterns or something like that. So with the traditional martial arts, I think they have this whole view, so more like a holistic view, that they are trying to teach you all aspects of being a martial artist, like what we discussed before, to do sparring, but also do the patterns and the basics and the board breaking, anything to do with a pair, so with the partner moves, do it by yourself, do it in a group. So I like those kinds of things, that you are also very independent, you're an individual, but when you are part of a group, you have to work as a group or have to work as a pair, for example. So I really like that about Taekwondo, that I feel like an individual. There are things that I can practice by myself, but there are things that you can only practice with a partner. So I really like that kind of thing. And I always feel like they are aiming for the yin and yang aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you still have to work on your fitness in order to do something, but if you do something, you have to work on something else, and it just, you know, it just keeps going and going. There is never an end to it. That's what I like. That's like,
it, yeah.
It's a whole life devotion, I think.
I like the way we can actually do solo work as well. We can work on our own. For instance, at the minute with the whole COVID-19, a lot of people are at home, and we're still able to train and still able to keep our training up, and without partners, and it's great to be able to do that now. So, well, it was a great pleasure speaking with you, Nora. And
thank you very much, Emmett.
I know you have a great YouTube channel, but where else can our audience find you online?
So yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's my name, Nora Csiszar. And I also have an Instagram account. That's, I think, Nora Csiszar01. And that's it. That's the only two things I do. Nothing else, because I don't really like social media. So I just try, you know, with the YouTube channel, I started it doing basically for myself, because I was traveling and I wanted to keep up with my Taekwondo.
Yeah.
And I just filmed some of the stuff that I thought I knew or I could teach someone, because I noticed that many videos, and so I started my channel 3 years ago, and I saw that many videos were, how do I put it nicely? It's like showing off what you can do, but there is no explanation to it. So I was like, I think there is a need here to an actual explanation of certain things, like how to do a tornado kick, for example. And I just started so I just started doing like those videos that I noticed, like, oh, there is no video about actually how to do it. Okay, well, I show how I think it should be done, and maybe I can show you a little bit of tweaks here and there to make it easier for you. And it seems like people really like those kinds of videos. So that's my my goal.
Perfect. The tornado kick is my arch enemy at the minute, but I've been trying that and the butterfly kick and not making progress. But
slowly progress. Yes.
Well, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much, Nora. And
thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Just finish up.
Bye.
Right. Goodbye.